Pickaxe.
Hello and welcome back to Darmok Jalad at Podcast.
At Podcast.
Do you want to be Darmok or Jalad?
Well, we can make them whatever we want because, of course, nobody knows. They're just these legendary lads.
Legendary heroes who met on the ocean.
It's quite a sweet story, actually. Like I do like that. We haven't come to that episode yet. That is probably one of the best episodes in Star Trek history.
It's in my top 10, without a doubt. I love it.
Easily. And I always like the effect for the beast, Tanagra, that they have to fight, that weird sort of glowy thing.
Oh, yeah, okay. I always thought the invisible monster was like the worst part of that episode.
Oh, I liked it. I liked the effect. It felt threatening. It felt menacing. Yeah. Unlike this episode, which it didn't feel menacing, but you know what, Ben? I thought this was not a bad episode of Star Trek.
Yeah, so we're doing episode 13, Datalore. And I'll honestly tell you, if I just watched this randomly, I never would have guessed it was season 1.
No, agreed.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
It's like, it feels like a standard Next Generation episode.
Yeah.
You know?
Honestly, it did not feel like season 1. This is the least like season 1 that's happened so far. It didn't have any sort of side stories and side plots that didn't make any sense. It didn't. We'll review it later, but essentially, as we go through this episode, you'll see that at no point do we say, what happened to the spider people? What happened to the lizard people? Like, that's not a factor. This is just a good, straightforward mystery into some pretty cool stuff. So I liked it.
I'm like, this was actually a good one. I'm not just going to rate this one on a curve and be like, well, for season 1, it's good. I'll just be like, this was just good.
Yeah.
This was just good Star Trek.
Genuinely.
I enjoyed it a lot.
There is still some TNG shit that I've still got 2.5 pages of complaints.
Yeah. But, I'm going to nitpick the shit out of it.
Yeah, fully. But it's sort of like that, the joke, the food here is terrible. Yes, and such small portions. It's like that.
Yeah, so I just want to say, overall, I did enjoy it. But yes, we're going to say some mean things for sure. So I'll just do a quick rundown. They happen to be they're on their way to a mission, but they're going near the planet that Data comes from. So Picard's like, wouldn't it be fun to just poke around Data's old haunt? And I'm like, oh, okay, cool, yeah, because I guess, Starfleet knows all about Data, and they're gonna go chat to the people who made him and say hello. But turns out, no. Turns out it's a desolate wasteland.
But they knew.
None have survived.
So they know that there's nothing there. So they turn up at this planet, Omicron 6 or something it's called.
Yeah.
And they turn up, and Data's like, oh yeah, that's my planet. And Picard's like, wow, this must make you feel some kind of way. Like, it's crazy, huh? And everything died down there. The colonies disappeared. But he says that while they're in orbit. Picard's like, yeah, and then the colony just fucking disappeared. Crazy. But he says it so casually that it makes me think these people must just die all the time. These colonists must just be 100% death rate of the average colonist.
Yeah, do you think like every time a colony ship goes off going, right, we're off to settle that new planet, everyone's like,
see you never. See you never. Take them off the Christmas card list because they ain't coming back. But he says it so casually.
Yeah. But also, like, they're not even interested in how they all died. Like, it's just like, yeah, we heard they all died. No one looked into it. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, they're like, wow, they all died. It's crazy. That's nuts. But, another day, another dead colony. What are you going to do?
Isn't it your job to investigate fucking space mysteries?
You'd think so. But then he's just like, put us in a close orbit. Just park up. This could be anything.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure whatever wiped them out, it can't hurt us.
It's long gone, I'm sure. It's just so carefree. I also, at one point, at the very start of the episode, he's practicing sneezing, which is a thing that he doesn't understand.
Yeah.
I'm going to come back to that later in the episode.
Okay.
Because I have something to say about it. But it is weird that they love to have these little things where Data doesn't understand people. So he's like, achoo, achoo. Do they not have Google? He can't just Google sneezing and say, oh, it's just a nervous reaction to inflammation of the mucous membrane.
Yeah, does he think it's like a behavior that people choose to do? Like,
so weird.
It's really, of all the things he could be practicing like laughing or smiling or winking or, any kind of purposeful thing that people do. But no, he picks something people have no control over and
he's
doesn't
like, it's so strange. It's like, it's really not. Animals sneeze. Like, it's not a human. My dog sneezes. My cat sneezes. Everything sneezes. It's just stuff gets up your nose, and that's your body's response to get rid of it.
I mean, even like plants, no, they don't sneeze, but they have like muscle contractions in response to stimuli.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? Like, it's a real simple thing.
But for him to be like, ugh, sneezing, what the fuck? Is this so...
Yeah, if only I could understand this, then I'd understand humans.
Yeah, just look it up on the computer, mate. Sneezing. I'll tell you all about it.
Or just ask Wesley, because he even knows about the common cold, which they love referencing again and again, right?
My mom told me people used to have something called common cold. Well, now they just get Ligurian bone disease and the cold's gone. Ugh.
But that's still his first response. He comes in and sees Data like doing a bad sneeze, and he's like, "Oh my god, do you have a cold?"
Right. He's such a sarky little shit.
But that's like me seeing you, like you scratching your neck, and me being like, "Oh my god, do you have like that ancient fucking Latvarian skin rash that doesn't exist anymore?" Like,
so weird.
That isn't a thing people say.
Yeah. Also, he's such a... In private conversation, quite often, he's a real sarky little shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he's all snide, so he kind of got this school bully vibe about him.
Yeah.
And then when he's in front of the captain, he's all sweetness and light, and he does that grin thing. He goes, "Yes, sir!" He like, "Fuck off, Wesley, you two-faced cunt. I can't stand it. Fucking hell." Yeah.
He's a prick.
So they're in orbit around this planet.
Yeah.
And then Ben, they beam down. No masks.
No, it's fine.
No probes. Just bosh them down.
No. The scanner says it's fine, so it's fine. So they get down there, and Data's like, "Oh yeah, look, this is where you found me, over there." And this is where we find out Data's origins. I'd always assumed that they knew the doctor that had built him and trusted that guy.
Yeah.
Because even today, you do vigorous background checks when people like join the military or get senior ranks. Like, you need to make sure that they're not like, they don't have like ties to foreign governments, or they don't have like someone has like some leverage over them. You know, they don't have these big gambling debts that someone could use to blackmail you, or all sorts of things. You might want to do a background check on someone to see if they're compromised. But it turns out you can become second officer on a starship without anyone fucking knowing anything about... They just found him in the mud.
They found him on a rock. And they're like, "Get this guy to Starfleet immediately."
Like, they don't know who built him. They don't know where he came from. They just like, he's a good robot, isn't he? Sure, let him in.
Cracking robot, mate. Get him on. I mean, to be fair, he does tell, spoiler alert, but he does reference how long he had to go through Starfleet training.
Oh, he does the whole thing, for sure.
But still, they did just find him on a rock, on a barren planet. And that he was like, "I want to be in Starfleet." They're like, "Cool." But it also does it makes sense from his perspective. He wakes up, he's been rescued by Starfleet. He's like, "I want to join Starfleet." Like a child. The first thing he sees...
I want to be a fireman.
I want to be a fireman. If a fireman had found him, Data is right now would be a fireman. But no, he met Starfleet, so he's in Starfleet.
It's like he's imprinted like a baby chicken or something.
Exactly. He did also at one point when they're investigating, he reveals that he has all the memories of the colonists sort of in his brain.
Yeah.
Which I thought was interesting. But then he says, "This has awoken a memory fragment." And I immediately thought of video game mechanics.
He's got like a flashback.
Very much, that's like you get to a certain checkpoint and you get a cutscene. That's what happens in Data's brain.
Yeah. Data's living his life like he is a protagonist in a computer game, for sure. My God. But like, he could have been built by the Romulans. He could be the member of an entire android species out there that got shipwrecked. Like, he could have come from fucking anywhere, and he could have any motives. Yeah. Nobody knows.
Yeah. And he's a robot.
Second officer on the flagship.
He could be remotely controlled by their enemies. He could be a nuclear bomb of some kind. They get him in there onto the flagship.
They don't know how he works.
Nothing.
I don't like... Oh, it's wild. It just... turns out Starfleet, very easy to infiltrate for like foreign governments. It is like...
it's wide open.
It's wide open.
It's wide open. You could just put a robot on a rock and they'll pick it up. They're like magpies. If they see something shiny, they take it back to their ship. That's so stupid. In fact, multiple times so far, Ben, they find something and they're like, "Take it back to the ship." They do it in this episode.
Put it on the bridge.
Take it to the bridge right now. Let's really poke at it. So stupid.
So they find like a hidden cave network with a secret laboratory inside. And in that laboratory, they find two things. One, they find children's drawing of an apocalypse stuck up on the fridge. That's the kind of thing a proud parent puts on the wall.
Absolutely.
Like, our world is ending. We're all about to die. My kid has drawn it in graphic detail. Oh, that makes the place, really brings the room together.
Yeah, put him on the wall.
That reminder of our like approaching doom.
You know the way they say that children in like war situations will draw like things like missiles and bombs and people shooting, but I don't think you put it on the fridge.
No.
Like, I'm pretty sure the parents don't go, there's that drawing of that mass execution of our townspeople that you did. Do you remember that drawing? It's still on the fridge.
I just love remembering that moment.
It's horrific. By the way, I thought the set for when they arrived at the base, it was like a very long corridor with lights and stuff. I loved that set. It almost looked, because it was just for one shot. Yeah. In my opinion, that was either a very nicely done set for something else.
Yeah.
Or a genuine industrial building that they said, can we just film a couple of shots in there? Because it's a really cool, really long corridor, and they push them in all these lights going dum, dum, dum. And I was like, that is a rare POG set for Star Trek. I was really impressed.
It is really good, actually, but I can't imagine what else it would have been used for. No. It's very sci-fi.
And
it's got like sliding doors and stuff.
Some mine shaft or some shit, but it's like, so I thought, I'm sure some of it might be painted, but they put this set together for just this one brief shot, which made me think, is the budget gone up? Is everyone delighted with the first few episodes? They're like, have more money? What
I feel like it must be, maybe they use this in like 5 episodes just with different angles and paint on it. Do you know what I mean? They're like, this is our generic corridor of a mine shaft / a space station / a lab, and we'll just put different lights on it each time.
That's fair.
I reckon that's probably what it is. So keep an eye out for like that round door.
Keep an eye out for it, yes.
So they get into the lab and horrific drawings aside, they also find a robot, a Data, in a cupboard disassembled.
Yes.
Like a flat pack Data.
IKEA Data, yes.
Yeah. And I thought it was funny that all of the Data parts are facing outward, as if you're looking at him head on, apart from the crutch. The crutch is ass out.
Right. Just in case.
Just in case.
First of all, it reminded me of the scene in Red Dwarf where Crichton goes and have a conversation with his spare head. He's got like a couple of spare heads and spare hands, and one of them flips him off. And one of them is like gone a bit deranged. He's got a northern accent for some reason. I don't need no boy to look after me. He's like this head. So Data's spare stuff. But then there is a bit when they take it all back to the ship. Riker says to him, "Does it have all your parts?"
All your parts.
And that means that Riker is asking if it had a cock. Right?
Yeah, of course.
But that also means when they take it back to the ship, Ben, that because it wasn't these guys, some crew member had to come down and handle Data's spare cock and take it carefully and lovingly back up to the ship. I thought that was quite something.
And I'm glad they drew our attention to it, because it wasn't until Riker asked, "Does he have all the same pieces as you?" Wink, wink. That I had to go back and rewind. I was like, hang on. Did we see Data's cock in the box? And that's when I noticed it was packaged backwards on purpose.
Bizarre.
Yeah, so it turns out they're going to plug him all together. They're going to study Data, and they're going to like turn this thing on, find out what's going on. And everyone's really awkwardly talking about it, which I think is really interesting. How like they're embarrassed and confused about what language to use to describe this inanimate version of Data.
Yeah,
because they want to just call it in a machine, but they're sort of aware that they don't want to like hurt Data's feelings, and so everyone's being a bit kind of awkward about it. And I kind of got that. Like, I've been in situations where like I haven't quite understood the right words to use, and I've had to be careful about it.
Right.
You know, like the first time I sort of hung out with like a trans person,
right? Like
hypothetically super supportive and on board with that, but like in reality, I was like, suddenly I'm becoming very self-aware, and I'm checking, like, I can't just say like, I don't want to say guys because that might be misinterpreted.
Right. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Just like little things. And I saw that in all the crew trying to talk about this new Data.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it was a very similar kind of awkward situation.
I mean, I thought there was actually oddly progressive, which TNG I think has always strived to be quite progressive, especially once Roddenberry leaves. Where, I mean, once we get away from the blatant sexism and racism of the early series, I think the idea of Starfleet is that it is immediately, there's no hate, there's no conflict, there's no, I do not value your feelings or opinions about how you want to live your life because I think you're doing it wrong. That's not a factor. And so, Picard having this conversation where he's like, sorry, I shouldn't have called it. You're right. But the thing is, I think Data's response is also exactly what any trans person that I've ever met, if you accidentally use the wrong word or you phrase something wrong or you say something inadvertently offensive, which bear in mind, they are well used to that shit.
Oh my God. Well, they're used to it being said with actual hate in the heart rather than like an accident.
But they're also very used to well-meaning people using the wrong word. Is that Picard apologizes and Data says your apology is accepted and appreciated. And essentially, thank you for even worrying about that. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
And now hopefully, you learned a little bit from that, but equally going forward in our relationship or friendship, it's not like every time you make that mistake, I'm going to get angrier and angrier. It happens. It's just human nature to accidentally say the wrong thing. The difference is intent. Like you said, is one side is just accidentally saying the wrong thing and they're happy to be corrected. And the other side literally being a dick. I would have liked it if Picard had said, no, you're just a fucking robot. Get back in your fucking box. That would have been a funny twist to the episode. Because he does get angry with Wesley and it's kind of out of character, I think. The level
he gets
of
angry
anger.
with Data as well at the end.
Yeah,
like,
he
it's
does.
kind of weird. Like Picard's a bit of a grump today.
He was a real grump this episode.
But yeah, anyway, I just enjoyed the openness about it and then the discussion.
Yeah,
of,
it was
Data
interesting.
being like, no, I get it, thank you, and let's all be cool.
Sets up the episode in season 2, Measure of a Man, where we get the trial. But it is interesting that Data then in that episode chooses Picard to be his advocate, and I guess there's no attempt to tie these two episodes together in reality, but in my lore, this is the point where Picard starts learning about Data and what he is and trying to formulate an opinion. It would be nice to think that in the back of his mind, he's thinking, I should do better. And I want to try and understand what he is. And all the questions he's got, just asking them in court in that episode begs the question enough to make it an issue. I thought that was interesting anyway.
Yeah, that's true, because this is the first time anyone's really sort of considered Data's situation and treated him as anything other than just the guy who sits in the chair.
Lad they found on a rock. Yeah. Like a frog. Like a pet frog they brought home and put in a tank. That's Data.
Just such a weird origin. I can't get over it. I never knew that about him.
Me neither.
Yeah, it's wild.
But then the fact that Noonien Sung had essentially exiled himself from Starfleet and from the Federation because he made such a tit of himself, promising this thing. But oddly enough, they sort of, I'm sure we see Noonien Sung in later series.
Yeah, he does come up. So maybe he escaped the entity and left all of his robots behind. I don't know.
Because I was very excited, Ben, about the crystalline entity. I fucking love the crystalline entity.
It's a cool space thing.
It
Finally,
is a big
we meet
space
a weird space thing.
And I know
we see a few shots
how
of the
much
ship
you love
as well.
That. Yeah, we see some external shots of the ship. Huge pog. And
it's like they're doing something in space.
I know. And they met an alien that was a threat to them. It's real space stuff happening live on television.
Oh my God. I can't believe we waited 13 episodes. Here we are.
Oh, you know what? When they get Lore back on the ship and they're going to rebuild.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
So, yeah, sorry, I should say they've rebuilt. So this copy of Data that they found in the box, they've put him all together and they turn him on. And he says his name is Lore and he's Data's brother.
Yeah. But wait. So before that, they leave it up to the engineer guy, Argyle, who's only in a handful of episodes before they get rid of him. He looks like a guy like who knows how to put a toaster back together. He does not look like a guy or act like a guy who can handle a positronic net and the complexities of Noonien Sung's masterpiece Data. So they get him on the operating table under that big magnifying glass. Beverly's just looking at him. Her eyes are like wide, like, what the fuck are we doing? And he's like, oh, the green bit goes into the red bit. And then he's like squints it around the left there. And it looks like a bivalve around there. Yeah, all right, yeah, you can close him up. I've got it. I was like, you can just glance value at Data's inner workings and be like, oh, I know how he's done this. They didn't have a scanner that could have done this. You have to cut him open.
It kind of makes sense to me. Like, I like the idea that, like, he doesn't understand how the robot works, but the robot isn't broken. He's just disassembled purposefully, right?
Right, yeah.
So it really is just a case of plugging him in properly. You don't have to get it. You just have to copy.
That's true.
How Data's plugged in. Like, I could do that, I think.
That's true. But Data then reveals to Beverly when she's going to knock him out, oh, I've just got an off switch here, and you can, like, put a timer. And when you finish the time, he's showing her, there's some buttons on my side here. And she's like, wow. She's like pushing the buttons. But there's no screen. It's just buttons like a fucking kitchen timer, like a timer that you have to time your pasta. And I'm thinking, is this minutes? Is this hours? Is this seconds?
Yeah, how many times have I pressed it? I can't remember.
There's no screen, so she's just like beep, 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 beep. And Data's like, yep, you can stop pushing it now. Like that's like 3 years. You've now knocked me out for 3 years. There's no reset button on this. Like she's just hitting buttons on Data. There's no screen.
And is it just me, or is it like sort of vaguely sexual, that scene? The way she's like, there's a little moment between the two of them where she's got her hand in him, and it's like, hang on, what? Why are you making this sort of sexy?
Yeah, she's like it kind of feels like a button, and he looks at it like, oh yeah, keep touching that button. Baby.
And then she like lowers her voice and gets a little like, oh, Data.
Like, so
what are these bumps, Data?
What other buttons do you have? All those spare parts that I saw them bring on board the ship, they needed a fucking special wagon to get your cock on board there, your spare cock. Unbelievable.
I just found that kind of weird.
Yeah, no,
maybe that was just me, but
it's weird.
Yeah. So, first thing they do once Law's woken up, they've got him in a jumpsuit. And they've just invited him straight onto the bridge. Yeah. Just to say hello. Look, here's how to fly the ship, Law.
Yeah, they just showed him how to fly the ship. If you wanted to nick it, this is how you would do it. Just showing you how to fly the ship. This is the bridge.
Oh my
this
God.
is our computer. It's got all the data that we've data. Bit of an unintentional pun there, Law. Sorry about that, but it's got all the data on there you could ever need. Reader, you can look at all the schematics and just wander about. Go where you like.
They just love finding robots because they immediately trust this robot more than they trust Wesley. They wouldn't let Wesley on the bridge until he'd like proven himself. Whereas, we found another robot.
Also, bear this in mind. They found Data on a rock. This guy was in a building, so
oh, even better, more trustworthy.
You can trust him. Wow. So, also, then at some point they're trying to test Law, and he knows like Pythagoras' most fundamental theorem about triangles, the square and the hypotenuse, and all that.
Like the first thing you learn in maths.
Yeah, and everyone's like, "Ooh, well done, Law." And Data's like, "Oh, you didn't reveal that you knew all this cool shit." I was like, Pythagoras' theorem, really? Jealous of that? That's so weird.
It was an odd one, wasn't it? That doesn't prove much. You'd expect him to be like caught because he kind of slipped up, right? Like he proved he knew more than he was pretending to know.
But why wouldn't he know it? He's a robot like Data.
Oh, yeah. But for that to work as an example, it should be some kind of like warp field theory equation or something like that.
And then
like something really advanced.
Oh, that's weird. Oh, you know what? I'll also say, going back to that conversation that Data has with Picard, there's a moment where Picard is stumbling to find the right words. And Data says, "You're wondering whether my loyalty is to the ship or to my brother. And I'm telling you right now, it is to my brother." And Picard is like, "Cool." And
it's to the ship.
To the ship. To the ship. And Picard's like, yeah, cool. That is such an insightful thing for Data to realize what the captain was fumbling for, because it's so weird how Data can be that super insightful and genuinely emotionally quite mature individual. And then at other times, he's like, how do sneezes work? Like it doesn't really make sense for him to be this insightful and to be able to detect.
I think for me it does. I'm on board with that because I feel like that particular example of insight is him thinking, if I were captain, what would I be worried about? And that would be Data's concern.
That's
like I think
point.
It's a real, it's a cut and dry kind of problem solving kind of situation. It's not about emotions or feelings or human nature. It's about, like the computer program of being a captain.
That's true.
Like one of my officers has divided loyalties.
A sort of unemotional question to ask, isn't it? It's
the only emotional part of it is Picard feeling awkward about asking it.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Carry on.
We'll allow it.
Allowed.
Oh, so Lord just starts immediately creeping it up while he's hanging around with Data. He's like, oh, and soon we'll feel the memories of every living creature in the universe. And Data's like, oh my God, tell me more. Jeez, sounds amazing. So I'm really enjoying Brent Spiner at this point. He is pulling off like both characters really
the
well.
Tough double act of playing yourself and someone that's just slightly different from yourself. But I do like the slightly hammy Lore sort of sort of evil, which must be after having to have his face set in like rigid for 12 episodes or whatever, to be able to goof around a bit must feel pretty fucking good.
Yeah. Well, apparently he pushed for it. Originally, the script was going to have them find a lady robot that was going to be like a love interest for Data.
I would have been so down for that.
And Brent Spiner was like, no, let's do evil clone.
The only thing that I reckon Roddenberry was pushing for was like, you're right, we'll give him a little evil mustache as well. It's like evil Spock. Well, maybe not, Gene. Maybe we'll just stick with he looks the same. And at first they think it's spare parts. Oh, yeah, spare parts.
Oh, no, if he had an evil moustache, that would be amazing, because then at some point he would have to shave himself and glue the moustache onto
like Constantine the Frog in Muppets Most Wanted, where he paints green over his mole and sticks a fake mole on Kermit and disguise complete. Yeah, that's literally it.
That would have been hilarious. I would have been on board with that.
Yeah. Oh, also, I thought one interesting chat we have, once Lore is just loose on the ship, he leaves the room and Tasha comes up and she looks around and she's like, are we cool with this? Because this dude is like what the fuck? Like, she's asking this question about Data and Lore, and Picard's like, yeah, that's fine. And he goes, and that was a valid question.
Yeah.
To the whole crew.
That was kind of weird. He wants to like justify Tasha Yar and make them all think she was doing a good job. But
she looks so pleased when he says that. She's like,
yeah,
oh, the captain was nice about me. Like, she just loves the captain so much.
I just found it so odd. Like, yeah, that was obviously a valid question to ask. Like, you don't have to pat her on the back like that.
Yeah.
And, it felt all weird and like he's never done it before.
These guys are the best of the best. Like, this is the elite crew of Starfleet. Although, as we've come to realize, Ben, these are the losers that they've tossed on a ship and booted into deep space, hoping they all die. But Tasha's like, Captain, can we really trust either Data or Lore? And he's like, yes, we can. And that is a valid question. And everyone sort of looks awkwardly, gets back to their work, trying to pretend they didn't hear it. It was so weird.
Oh, I'm glad someone's questioning something at this point, though, because we've trusted him a lot so far.
Yeah. So, where did we find this thing? Not on a rock. Okay. It was in a building. Oh, okay. Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
Go on. What happens next, Ben?
Well, we're going to find out that we find out why the colony was destroyed. Turns out there's a giant crystal space monster that eats biological matter.
Yes. The crystalline entity. This thing comes back. Don't you worry, folks. If you'd enjoyed this episode with the crystalline entity, get ready for more.
In fact, no, at the end of this episode, I was like, the only thing I want more of is I want to know more about what this crystalline entity's up to.
Yeah.
It was like really underdeveloped, and like I feel like there's more to be found out there.
It's an intelligent life form. And there is an episode later on, I think either in this season or the next season, where I'm pretty sure it's Riker is on a planet and the crystalline entity attacks. And it's like this massive laser beam, like an ion cannon from space, just eating everything on the planet. It's really cool.
Whoa.
Oh, yeah, I love that. I love the crystalline entity. It's just the idea of him floating around in space eating everything. He's like Thanos. Yeah. Oh, no, he's like Galactus, actually.
Galactus.
More like Galactus.
Or like Unicron or something like that.
Yeah, really cool.
Yeah, he's like a giant crystal snowflake who eats...
Fucking snowflakes, Ben, ruining everything.
I know, right? Yeah, so but it turns out they survived in their cave. The cave had like some kind of mineral that protected them from the laser beam. But Lore sold them out. He like learned how to communicate with the entity and was like, I'll open the door and you eat them all. Just don't eat me.
Fair.
Yeah, well, I guess because he hates the people because they got him turned off. Turns out he was too creepy. They didn't like Lore. They thought he was a creep. So the Union Sung just went, okay, I'll turn him off and I'll build a way less creepy one.
Yeah, I'll make one. It turns out that having human emotions makes you incredibly shitty. Is what the summary of this episode was.
Oh, I thought it was more Uncanny Valley kind of thing. Like you could handle Data because he's clearly a robot, whereas Lore is like blurring the lines between robot and people.
I thought it was that he was just kind of a dick.
He is a dick.
And it's like you could tell that he's just unpleasant and probably wasn't popular, made all kinds of snide comments, did all kinds of shit. Yeah, lies a lot. He's just constantly. A dickhead. He's just a dickhead. Yeah. And they were like, look, this guy's a cock. We're colonists. This is hard enough as it is. Our survival chances here are about 5%. With him knocking about, you could knock a few more percent off. God knows what he's going to do. So yeah, I was on board with turning Lore off.
Yeah, so I don't know the timeline here because at some point he sells out the colonists to the entity,
Yeah.
but also gets disassembled and put in a cupboard.
Yeah, I don't understand that. I didn't. I just glazed over at that point. I was like, whatever.
Like, they don't explain it, but like, I
They're
guess
like,
they found
we're
out.
being sold out. Disassemble him. Don't kill him.
Yeah.
Just disassemble him and put him carefully back in his box. And
don't
don't leave a note.
note.
Don't leave a note explaining, do not activate this android.
Yeah. And then also turn Data off, because when he's off, he doesn't get eaten.
Right. Yeah, because you just leave Monroe off. He'll be fine.
And then Wesley is like, hang on a minute.
Yeah.
This doesn't seem like Data. Even though at that point, I don't think he's slipped up, other than like the facial
No,
tick.
but he had the weird face tick. So he's got this weird face thing where he squinches up his whole face like that now and then.
Oh, sorry, we skipped over the fact that Lord knocks Data out, swaps
Yeah, he poisoned
clothes.
him. Swap clothes, the classic.
Yeah.
He gave him he gave him a Mickey, knocked him out, and Data's like, oh, collapses, switches the old switcheroo, and then Laura's like, oh dear, Data's Laura's fucking passed out. I had to knock him out or some shit.
Yeah. And I'm doing his face thing now for practice.
Yeah, I'm practicing the face thing. And Wesley's like, okay. And then Wesley says to him, just as long as you don't use any contractions, because then we definitely know you were Laura. And Laura's like, gotcha. Like, what on earth?
I have got you, I mean, sorry.
I understand. I cannot use a contraction.
Yeah.
Although, it's a little bit of trivia, Data then uses a contraction later in the episode by mistake.
Yeah.
Presumably in the script, and they just ignore it. So, whatever.
But I think that's kind of interesting. We're skipping ahead a bit, but at the end, you're right. Data says, I'm fine, instead of I am fine. But you couldn't, I mean, it's clearly a script error, but you could interpret that as Data trying to like learn from the whole thing and be a bit like more like Law.
I mean, that would have been,
I mean?
If that was intentional, someone would have commented on it.
They would, exactly.
There's no subtlety in this show. Nothing happens that nobody's noticed. Yes,
it would have been brought up.
Literally a script error. But yeah, funny.
So Law's just occasionally dropping weird things. Like, he doesn't understand when the captain says make it so, and Law's like, what does that mean?
Make what so where? Make it so what? And he's like, do it. He's like, oh, yeah, sorry. I forgot. You know me. Yes. Silly old Data.
Always forgetting stuff. So everyone does start getting suspicious of him. But Wesley really speaks up and doesn't explain it properly. He's just like, I'm not going anywhere with him.
The bad man said a bad thing. It's like, Wesley, shut the fuck up and do your job. Yeah,
that was so good. It comes out of nowhere. Picard just screams, shut up, Wesley.
Shut up, Wesley.
And then Wesley goes, Mom. And she goes, shut up, Wesley.
So good.
A little out of character, but I enjoyed it nonetheless. Yeah. Because Wesley did not do a good job of explaining his concerns there. He didn't say, Law swapped his body and I can tell because of these giveaways. He's just like, I don't like him.
None of you believe me. It's because you haven't given a case. You haven't stated a case. What you've done is, there's a courtroom scene, Wesley, and you've stood up and said objection. And when we've said, what is your objection? You've said, just objection. Judge is going to chuck that out.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
You know what? I will also say, whenever I see Law smile, seeing Data smile, very unsettling. I think you're right. I think that's why they turned him off.
Just for the smile.
It's a weird smile. They were like, Dr. Soong, this smile is freaking me out. Can we turn him off? Yeah. Oh, yeah, we're going to turn him off. Yeah, bizarre. Oh, God. And then there's a bit of fanning about, Ben, and the fucking crystalline entity turns up. And what does Geordie say? Bogey at 5 o'clock. What are we in Vietnam? What's happening? What is this bogey at 5 o'clock?
You're in 3-dimensional space. You're going to have to be more specific than 5 o'clock.
Bogey at 5 o'clock. I was like, what? This is like some World War II dogfight is happening.
We don't
now.
even say that now anymore.
No.
Let alone then.
So weird.
Yeah, that was really, really odd. Especially when they've just finished explaining to Law about how you give reference points. Because you give 2.
And he's pretending. Yeah, you give 2. One for sort of 2-dimensional, and then a third angle, which gives you 3-dimensional, and suddenly you've got a 3-dimensional coordinate.
And you say mark in between, which I learned something.
And there you go. And he's like, cool, now I can fly the ship and take over. Excellent.
Yeah. And then the next time Geordie uses those headings, he doesn't do the thing that he just explained.
He just says bogey at 5 o'clock. So weird.
So, the crystalline entity, Data's immediately like, I can communicate with it and tell it to back off. And no one's like, how do you do that? And I really thought he was going to open a hailing frequency and then he was going to open his mouth and then some kind of like modem dial tone was going to come out or something like that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
but Picard
like
says to him, you didn't tell me you could do that.
Yeah.
And doesn't think anything of it.
No.
Just goes, you never told me you could do that. And Data's like, yeah, I can. Well, Law was like, yeah, I can do that. He goes, you never told me you could do that. That's unbelievable. This guy's amazing.
But then all he does is press a button and go, hello, entity.
I know how to communicate with it. Please wait. Don't shoot. There you go.
Yeah, I could have done that.
Picard's like, amazing.
Make a crystal noise or something.
Something. Like if he got a wine glass and ran his finger around the edge of it, so it went,
yeah,
I'd like that more.
I would have been totally on board with that.
talking.
Yeah, like some kind of resonance frequency.
I know how to communicate with it. Hello, please don't shoot.
Do you speak English?
Yes, I do. Excellent. Handy. Oh, that's so stupid.
So he goes down to the cargo bay to like do his little plan to pretend to like beam a tree up, but actually he's going to lower the shields and get the whole ship eaten because he's doing his old trick again. He's selling out the Enterprise to the Entity.
He loves a switcheroo.
Oh, it's his
He
favorite.
will switch himself for Data. He will switch a tree for a ship. Everything. He loves the old switcheroo.
But everyone's suspicious now, so they send a security team to go stop him. And Law just fucking annihilates Worf.
Oh my God.
And I love it.
So he punches Worf in the chest, and Worf's like, oh, shit.
He makes such an uncomfortable pain noise.
So
I felt it. Like, oh my God, Worf, are you okay?
Has never had his ass kicked like this, ever.
No.
Like, his face is like, what the fuck? Like, I'm a Klingon. I grew up fighting. I've been punched in the chest 1,000 times. This guy just like, his soul has got knocked out of him. He was like, oh! It's so good. Also, I've made a note here. Worf gets ass beat. And I've put 1.
Oh, this is our first Worfing.
I think this is the first time. Can you think of another time Worf got his ass beat? Like, properly beat?
Because Tasha Yar's the boss. We don't actually see Worf do that much at the moment.
Very rare. This is his first fight scene.
And we've seen him, like, wail on Napoleonic pigmen pretty hard.
Right, and he did great.
He did great there, yeah. And that's the only other time I think we've seen him fight.
I think this is the first time we've seen him really properly get his ass beat down. And it does happen quite a bit in the show. So I've added that to my running count.
Well, it's a thing. Like, people say they do the Worf when they do it to like other characters in other shows, where you have this like strong character, and the first thing you do to prove that the threat is serious is you have them beat up very easily.
Oh, absolutely.
The strongest guy on the show. The trouble is, you do that too many times, and then they just start looking like a wimp because they just constantly get their ass kicked.
And you think Worf definitely lied on his CV, is what this comes down to, like 100%. Yeah. All right, I'm a warrior. And they look it up, and it's like he was an administrator for a small bookseller, apparently, in a very small town.
Yeah. He ran a dojo for children.
And he was undefeated?
Yeah.
But so the running total so far, I've got holodeck uses versus mishaps. We're on 2 uses, 1 mishap.
Okay.
And Worf gets arse beat. We're on 1. So I'm just going to keep a running total. I'm actually going to keep
I love it.
1. Lore kicks ass in lift. There we go. These are the running totals.
We're going to be specific.
Yeah, just to keep track, because I want to see them all come up.
Absolutely. But yeah, I enjoyed that. That was very cool. And then, so then Wesley and Dr. Crusher go and find Data, and they turn him back on with a little sensual healing. And then they rush off to stop Lore, because that's it. Worf's down. Can't send anyone else.
We're out of people. That's it. Also, if I'm not being funny, if he literally one-shot Worf and knocked his soul out of him with a punch, who else are you going to send? No one's going to be like, I'll go, Captain. They'll be, fuck that. I ain't going down there. Fire me. Look and put me in the brig.
So this is another instance of just the security systems on a starship, any starship, happens in every Star Trek, being terrible.
Awful.
Because hypothetically, you'd think, beam him into the brig. At this point,
have a camera somewhere.
just he's wearing the badge. He's wearing the badge.
You know where he is. Beam him in.
Where he is. Beam him into a locked room.
They're like, where is he? And the computer's like, he's on deck 4. Where's he going? Cargo hold. They're like, we better get down there.
Put up a force field.
Can't you just go, boop, boop, boop. We've isolated him in a corridor. There's no way out. And we've literally got cameras on him. We can see exactly what he's doing. If necessary, we can just laser the entire thing, put a laser field in there, or just beam him into deep space like that. Job done. But no, they're like, shit, send some people down.
It's weird.
And send Beverly and fucking Wesley.
The thing is, though, if it had actually been Data instead of Lore, then I could totally believe that he could scramble his signature, disable the force fields as he's going. Do you know what I mean? Like
he knows the ship.
He knows the ship inside out, and he's
Yeah.
super fast. He could literally stand on a computer, run his hand at like light speeds, put in 1,000 commands, lock everyone else out. I could totally buy that. But Lore doesn't have that knowledge or experience.
No.
I think they could have easily just like isolated him.
Yeah, it's bizarre. Like you said, the security system on this ship is terrible, but they double down on that by then just letting found creatures wander the ship.
Yeah.
It's like, well, the ship is yours. Wander around, bridge included. Just stay out of trouble.
We can't stop you, so
stay
enjoy.
out of trouble. So bad. So lax. You wouldn't put your money in a bank run by these clowns. That's all I'm saying. If you walked in, they'd be like, "You want to see the vault? There's the vault. It's wide open. We call it a vault. It's actually just a cardboard box in the window. You want to go have a look at all the money we've got? Go ahead. We trust you. Don't nick it. No cameras. Nothing.
No, here are the buttons for the force fields if you want to use them and lock us out. That's fine.
This is how the ship works. This is how the phases work. Life support. That's the off switch. Don't hit that. That'd be terrible.
I've got to post it on there just to remind you.
It's just, what are you doing? They're like children. Like I said, they're like children in space. They meet someone and they're like, "Can we keep him?" They just trust everyone.
Oh, best friends.
Best friends. Robot friend.
So Lore's about to like kill them all. And Data, Wesley, and Beverly like bust in and like hold there. Beverly's got like this massive phaser. It's like a hairdryer.
It's big
compared to Worf's little like keyring thing that he. Well,
that's your day-to-day carry phaser. She went and she opened a locker somewhere.
She went to the armory somewhere.
Yeah. She was like, "Give me the big phaser because this thing's a fucker." And she's like, that's like when you try to kill a bug. Someone tells you there's a big bug in the bathroom. You go up there with just like a mug to capture it. And you're like, "No, I'm coming back with a cricket bat because this thing is huge."
And Lore just immediately like overpowers them and then gets the gun and is like, "I'm going to shoot your kid. So get out of here." And so she reluctantly backs off and is like, "Oh no, what can I do?" And then just as she's leaving, he's like, "And I'm a bit of a prick, so I'm going to set fire to your arm as you leave."
I love that shot of Bev running out the door. And he's like, "Ah!" And her arm is fully ablaze. We never see her put it out. She just has a burning arm.
The next time we see her, she doesn't have her like long overcoat jacket.
Oh, okay. She whipped it off.
So she whipped it off and stamped it out, I think. I thought that was actually an interesting attention to detail to save them having to like fire damage her coat.
Oh, God, yeah.
She just came in without it.
Yeah, they just said, just burn it. Just put some fire on her. And the stunt person is running away. Obviously, you don't see them from the front.
Yeah, with a red wig on.
But he's just fully shot. I didn't know they're shooting someone with a phaser. So this is another interesting thing.
Mm-hmm.
What phasers do to people when they hit them is quite inconsistent.
Well, they have settings, right? So I assume it's got 100 different settings because sometimes they vaporize them. Sometimes they just like knock them out. Sometimes they put a hole in them. Sometimes they set them on fire. I think it's dealer's choice. You know, you can make it do whatever you want.
It's like Judge Dredd's gun, where he's got like all these different types of ricochet ammo. Pew! Hot shot. Pew! Explosive
so
round.
That means either Beverly had set her phaser to burn when she was pointing it at Lore, or we didn't see Lore thumb the controls and purposely set her on fire. I don't know which one's more likely.
Fucking what is going on with them? Because the thing is, I always thought like they sometimes go set phasers to maximum, and they look down and they're like, boop, 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 boop. And then you can also set your phaser to overload, where it'll blow up like a bomb, which oddly enough has use. Weird, because you think you might, if like when you sit on your phone or something and you accidentally if you've got your phaser and you're just leaning against the inside of a shuttlecraft, you look down and suddenly it's set to overload. It's like you can't turn that off.
That's got to be one of those things like when you take a screenshot on your phone, you got to hold down like 2 buttons at once to put it onto bomb mode.
But Lore just zaps Bev, sets her arm on fire. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But in Wrath of Khan, for example, at one point there's a scene where the insect that is controlling Chekhov and the captain, I can't remember the captain's name, they go to the facility where the Genesis device is kept, ready to beam it over to Khan, and somebody goes to make a move, and so they dodge a phaser shot, and it hits some random science guy behind him, and he just goes, "Ah!" Yeah, so it disappears, like just literally turns to nothing.
Yeah, vaporized.
So that's
Brutal.
like a proper phaser shot. So Law's just set this to a cheeky burn setting, like you said, but he's like, just maim them a little bit.
Yeah, I just want to cause some pain here.
So do you think that he has the Asimov style, you can't allow humans to come to harm?
Oh, no. I think he's a sadist because
he's just a nut.
Shooting her didn't do it, like, serve no purpose. Like, it wasn't tactically.
And he is just setting up the crystalline entity to eat them all, but he's not doing it directly. So I'm wondering,
he just wants to cause them pain. Oh, can he kill people?
Yeah,
that's
like,
interesting. Maybe he has a block.
Kill them. Yeah.
Because he didn't kill Worf, right? And he could have done.
He could have just literally chopped his head off with his bare hand. Or punched through him like Omni-Man. Just punched through his chest. Because Worf was like,
could have done.
Oh, that's hard. Oh, like,
yeah, because that didn't seem to be any effort at all for him to hit that hard. My headcanon's going to be that he takes joy in suffering.
Yeah, that's
rather
fair.
than
I like that.
He's blocked from killing.
But I did love Bev on fire. I love that. That was
I wasn't expecting it at all. It really surprised me.
You know what my first thought was mind the hair. Because hair will go up like that. And she's got beautiful long red hair. Yeah. I was immediately very worried that the next scene was going to be Bev with a short haircut. Because she's like caught fire, isn't it? But
well, they'd use that hair and makeup replicator we talked about, surely.
Of course. The Stylotron 3000.
That's it. Yeah, that's the one.
I mean, that's going to malfunction on you, for sure.
So then Data and Law get into a fight where they throw empty barrels at each other, which is meant to show how strong they are because they're throwing around cargo barrels. But the way they bounce around and move, they really look like just empty plastic barrels.
I always think it's one of the hardest things to do when it comes to props is give weight to a prop that doesn't have weight. And a lot of it depends on the actor's performance. Again, to go back to Wrath of Khan, there is a scene when the bridge of the Reliant class has been fucked up, and there's a big beam lying on top of one of the crewmen, and Khan uses his strength to pick it up and toss it. And his performance of lifting this thing makes you think it's real, but as soon as it leaves his grip, it looks like a piece of styrofoam.
Yeah.
Like it's almost impossible to do, I think. I
think you just have to not see it flying through the air. You just have to see them lift it, and then you can't even really see it land because the way
if it lands, it'll just go boom, 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 and you're like, oh, that's just lights. Yeah,
it's tricky.
Because when you see a heavy thing land, it's like bong, like it's not bouncing.
It doesn't. Yeah, exactly. It's the bounce that's the giveaway. So I think to make that more convincing, you basically have to have someone struggling to lift something, and then throwing it off camera.
Yeah.
And then the other person it's already landed on them.
Yeah. They're like, ugh. Yeah.
Which is, again, kind of shit too, but at least you're not watching these things bounce and rattle around.
I think with some clever editing and shots, you could make it work. But a lot of the time, like you said, in that wide, it just looks like they're chucking paper cups at each other, and you're like, okay. I mean, I guess it's tough. It's tough to do. But then maybe don't do it. Just get them to
do
sock
something
each
else.
Other. We've already seen a good punch.
Yeah, or get them into like they grabbed each other's arms and they're like struggling with equal strength against each other.
Like a proper power clinch, like you can hear servos whining and they're.
And maybe you could like bend or crack the floor they're on while they're doing it.
Yes.
To make it look like, oh my God, they're so strong. They're like pushing each other into the ground.
That would be cool.
Or that
would be cool.
One of them pushes the other one back and smashes something big and heavy and it like falls apart. I don't know.
Something like that.
There's other ways of doing it that doesn't look quite so silly.
Either way, Ben, I was ready for this awesome fight. And it really wasn't that awesome. And then it ends in kind of a goofy way, but quite a funny one.
I like the ending.
Yeah,
Lord jumps at Data. Data like flips him onto the transport pad.
Judos him onto the pad. Yeah.
Yeah. And then Lord's about to stand up. He's got the gun. He's about to shoot. And then Wesley Crusher beams him out into space as he's firing.
Into the crystalline entity, we presume. Just beams him straight there. But so, do you have to be on the pad to be beamed out?
I guess that's what it had been set up for, right? Because it's the cargo bay pad, right? That's what it does. If you're doing a site-to-site transport, that's more complicated. That's two different things. You're beaming them to the pad and then from the pad to a place.
Yeah.
Is how that works. And that's more of an involved procedure, is my understanding. That's why they always walk down to the transporter bay to go on their away missions.
Yeah. Yes, fair enough. I mean, like we've said, we try not to read too much into the transporter. They really shouldn't ever reference it because it's a fucking nightmare. But I'm sure it'll come up again. But yeah, it is odd to me that they can beam you up from a like really quite sketchy part of a planet sometimes. But then they're like, whoa, we couldn't really get a handle on him. He's in the cargo bay. It's like, yeah, that's on the fucking ship. You can
that should be really
see
easy.
It. Leave the doors
There's so
open.
many scanners.
You can see him from here. Bit tough, bit tricky. Yeah, but is it possible? Well, and also bear in mind, we don't care if it works because he's an enemy. We could just
That's true. If it scrambles his molecules, that's
we
fine.
We don't care. Bit tough. Lay off, fine.
And we know Law comes back.
Yes.
Right? So he hasn't been destroyed. He's just sat in a crystal in space being grumpy, I guess.
I like to think the crystalline entity like absorbs him into it somehow and ferries him about a bit. And then they're chatting away in English, of course.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So that's that.
Then they ask an interesting question at the end where they sort of infer like both Data and Law are more or less human in very different ways.
Yeah,
right? Because
yeah.
Law was kind of just like a slave to his ambition.
And a dickhead. Yeah.
And a dickhead, whereas Data is like real calm and measured.
And duty bound.
Duty bound, exactly. And Picard's just like, yeah, I think we should all be like Data. Isn't he great?
Yeah. But then my favorite line at the end was Riker says something about that crystal thing.
Yeah.
He goes, "Oh God, I wonder what's going to happen about that crystal thing." It's like, is that crystal thing, Mr.
Very
Riker?
scientific.
His captain's log, Ben. I've written an example of what this casual moron lumphead. This is what his captain's log would be like because he's clueless.
Okay, I can't wait.
Captain's log. Monday. No, Tuesday. We met some weird guys on a planet. It was a green planet. The weird guys were all male, and that was the worst thing about this trip. I tried it on with Deanna, but she said she had a headache. I got angry, so I went into the holo thing, and I ran a few sims of me and Diana being freaky, and then we bumped into some traders, and I was bored, so I thought they were probably smugglers, so we boarded them. I shot a guy. Good night, computer. End log. Like, that's his log. It's like a teenager's diary. Just a moron. Like that crystal thing. Not the crystalline entity.
No,
thing.
Not a marvel of nature that should be studied.
Intelligent creature that is a genuine threat is that crystal thing. Fucking idiot, Will.
Oh, it's just gone now. All right. See you later, maybe. I don't know. Not going to track it. Not going to find out where it's going.
Such a moron.
I don't know why
At this point in the show, he's literally there as the love interest for female viewers. I'm telling you. He's like Roddenberry's idea of what an attractive man is. Dimple-chinned, 10 foot tall, strides around and just is an idiot. He's just a himbo. That's it. And he's in charge. But bear in mind, he's deadly serious about getting Picard killed. We've seen so many times him trying to get Picard killed. He'd love to get Data out of the way as well. He's not very keen on Data. It'd be him and Worf and Tasha run the ship. That's what he'd like.
That's what he wants.
Deanna can just be his girlfriend.
Deanna's not even here today.
No. So at this point in the show, Marina Sirtis was very concerned that they were writing her out.
Yeah. She's just not in half of them.
Not in it, which is bizarre because in several of the episodes, she's literally sat next to Captain Picard. And in this episode, it's Beverly sat next to him on the bridge, which makes even less sense because what do you need a doctor for when you're flying around in space? What's she going to say? Oh, it looks like he's got a nasty bit of a rash there on his left arm. What were you talking about? It's a crystalline entity. You're no good here.
Well, I understand her being around to advise on Law because he's apparently kind of like she understands how he works better than the engineer does.
I guess for some reason.
I don't know why.
But she was there. She's sat to the left of Picard. And at one point he says, Wesley, get the fuck off the bridge. And Beverly, you go with him. And she's like, you're sending me off the bridge?
Yeah.
Which implies that that's where she normally is.
Yeah.
Not that she's like just up there for a trip. She's now the implication that she is now his left hand.
She deserves
man.
to be there the whole time.
Which is obviously that's normally where Deanna is, and Beverly's down in the lab running tests on someone's gonorrhea or whatever's going around on the ship at the moment. But at the moment now, they've decided don't put Deanna in this. We'll see how it goes. I assume she's back in the next episode, but I genuinely don't know.
No, I don't know. It's odd. Man, so right at the end, Picard just really gives Data a bit of a dressing down. Data has saved the ship and defeated Law and is a hero. And Picard's just like, sort it out. Stop twitching. Get your uniform back on and stop pissing around.
You're right.
Like, what?
Oh, so by the way, Deanna is in the next episode, so she's back. Don't worry.
Okay.
She's back, thank God. But yeah, it's so, honestly, they have not got Picard's character down yet.
No, they keep flip-flopping between like being like reasonable and being like a real strict like stick up his ass about everything.
But just being mindlessly grumpy to people. You're like, why is he yelling at that guy?
Yeah.
What's going on? Yeah, it's weird. It's weird. For someone who's so lax in so many things that in the middle of an important diplomatic meeting, he goes and plays a video game. Why the fuck has he got to stick up his ass about other people? It makes no sense.
And obviously, Data has a really good reason for not being in uniform. He got roofied.
He was roofied, and then he was in a fight with his brother, and he almost died. And Bev got set on fire. He's like, back to work, people, like some kind of evil factory owner. Picard. They have not figured him out, I'm telling you. He's so mean.
I mean, he'll get there. He'll become a beloved character. But right now, like, it's fucking weird to watch.
Right. Your rating for this episode, Ben.
Wow. Okay. Well, I think as a season 1 episode, I might give this an A.
Oh, wow. I was going to give it a B, but sure. I think you're right.
I've been so crushingly disappointed week after week that this is such a welcome breath of fresh air.
Yeah, it's
that,
true.
my expectations are all over the shop. So, I mean,
my God.
In terms of like what I think of Star Trek overall, this is like a C. But compared to everything else we've had in season 1, fucking hands down, best.
So on the curve, we're saying A, but as in general, C. I think that is a very, very, very good idea. So by the way, next week, we're straight back to the usual dog shit, if you were wondering.
Oh, no.
I will read to you a paragraph from the Wikipedia summary. So the next week's episode is Angel 1.
Okay.
Which I have no memory of this episode.
I haven't heard
This is
of
the
it.
paragraph. Just steel yourself, Ben, okay?
I've just looked it up on Wikipedia.
So here it is.
Jesus. It's a commentary on apartheid in South Africa, apparently.
Using gender role reversal. However, there were some problems between the cast and director during filming, and Patrick Stewart sought to have the sexist nature of the episode changed. The resulting episode was not well liked by members of the production team, and the response from viewers was negative. So I'm looking forward to this one. If you thought we were getting out of the depths of season 1, Angel 1 is here to drag you back down to earth. I can't wait.
Wow. Okay. A return to form for season 1, potentially.
Yeah. The curve never lies, Ben. The curve never lies. The occasional peak and trough aside, the median point for this series is in the fucking bin. This is going to stink. If the fucking actors were like, we hate this episode, and it says that it's something that commentary on apartheid in Africa, and it's about gender role reversal. I am so in. I'm so ready to watch this.
Oh my God, it's going to be such a fucking rich vein of awfulness, isn't it? Jesus Christ. Okay.
But you know what? This was like the green shoot through the slag heap of season 1. This is an episode that you think you actually could have put this in multiple other seasons, and it would have been improved by the nature of how the cast have got the hang of the characters.
That's
Writers have got
true.
the hang of writing the cast members better now, and it would have been more fleshed out and funnier and better and smarter. But the actual core plot and the way the episode plays out, it doesn't fuck around. There's no side plots that go nowhere. There's no weird moments where you think, what are you doing? It's all more or less, without nitpicks aside.
I mean, most of the things we've said are kind of nitpicky because I did enjoy it.
Yeah. I mean, at the time, as I'm watching it, I was thinking, this is nowhere near as bad as I was expecting. Brent Spiner getting to goof around as Lore was fun. And it had some decent scenes. I mean, honestly, the highlight of season 1 so far for me was Worf getting his fucking clock cleaned. That was so funny.
But he did it so well. Like I felt it in my soul.
Yeah, Michael Dorn really selling that there. Loved it. Loved it. Yeah, that was. If you don't know the clip, just when you watch the episode, it's the moment of Worf getting punched in the sternum by Data. Or Lore. It is just brilliant. I laughed so hard. Oh my God. But yeah, that was Datalore. Any trivia about this one? Did you get any production?
No, the only thing
trivia?
I found out was the Brent Spiner pushed for Evil Twin,
which I like. I like
Roddenberry wanted sexy fembot.
I mean, honestly, I can see both sides here. I mean, sexy fembot and a love interest for Data, and maybe Riker Because Riker is gonna fuck that robot immediately that it gets on board the ship. That would have been pretty fucking funny. But yes, I think the right choice was made. Well done, Brent Spiner, who seems to be a very decent bloke and funny in all the stuff I've seen of him doing. He does the conventions and everything. He's a very entertaining guy, quite a natural mimic and a sort of really funny actor and everything. It is funny they've got this guy who can emote and act and do impressions and everything really well. And then they're like, we want you to play the stiffest, most rigid character in the show's history, maybe even more so than Mr. Spock.
Yeah, that's true. But they do give him little opportunities, right? Whenever he often tries to mimic people. He does his Sherlock Holmes thing. Like he's often given a chance to like goof around.
That's true. And the fact that it's sort of opposite to his normal character, it adds to it, I think. But yeah, you're right. Yeah. So yeah, that was Datalore, episode 13 of season 1. Next week we have Angel 1, which is going to be an absolute stinker. So if you enjoyed this little foray into the lighter side, the good side of season 1, don't think that this is normal. This is an aberration from all the other episodes we've seen so far. This was a rare, decent episode. But we're straight back to normal next week. And we're about halfway through the season, by the way.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, I think the only way is up. Like this is the first green shoot of progress.
Of recovery, yes.
Like I'm not expecting them all to be like this, but I think we're on an upward trajectory. This is a step up. We'll take 2 steps back, sure, but then we'll take another step forward at some point.
This is exactly what Boris Johnson said about Brexit. He even used the word green shoots of recovery. And you're now referring to the rest of season 1 as the sunlit uplands into which viewers of Next Generation will gallop and canter.
I'm just trying to feel good. Ben, I'm just trying to be positive, man.
Bojo, it didn't work out for him. All right, well, we'll see how this works out for you, stating boldly that this is going to be
It's
great.
More of a hope than a fact. Oh, no. Yeah, that doesn't bode well.
No. Well, that was our episode. Thank you so much for listening. And we'll see you guys next time.
So yeah, send us an email. We haven't read any out yet because we recorded quite a few in advance, but they're starting to come in now. So if you have sent one in, we'll get to it very soon. And if you haven't, reach out. We'll have a chat. And we can do a mailbag next week if you're up for it.
Absolutely. Yeah. I've got a few emails already, so I'll get them ready for next week. I haven't read them yet, so I've got to proofread them. But yeah, keep them coming. And we love reading emails about Star Trek and talking about it.
Perfect. Right. Well, then, live long and prospect.
Beam us away from this hellhole. Goodbye.
Goodbye.